And welcome to another episode of Primility Primer, our daily reminder of the power of balancing pride and humility throughout our daily lives. Our morning reminder, actually, because we're here every morning at 6:30. I am your host, Jared Morris. This is episode 20, and I'm glad you're here as we start another week of Primility Primer episodes. And to start out this week, I actually want to kind of tell you a story of something that happened this weekend and the Primility lesson that I learned from it. Some of you know, Heather, my fiance, and I, we often go on walks on the weekend. We'll go on a walk on Saturday morning. A lot of times I go on a walk on Sunday morning. It's kind of one of our traditions. And the neighborhood that we live in here in Dallas, the main part of it is very grid-like. And so it's very easy to walk up and down, walk in and out of the streets, and maintain your bearings because you always come out on this center street. And so we never have any problem with it. But several months back, we decided to just go for this crazy walk and went way north and kind of went past the grid-like part. And there are these series of streets that just wind in and around, and there's no real rhyme or reason to them. And we got horribly lost. It kind of felt like anybody who played the first Legend of Zelda game, when you get lost in, it's called like the Lost Woods or something, and you just can't get out no matter what direction. You're always lost, and you end up having to go like back, a screen like 6 times one way, 2 times another way to actually get out. You have to know this code. And that's kind of what it felt like. And so we ended up way on this other street, and it ended up being like an 8-9 mile walk, and it was way longer than we thought. And we said, okay, we are never doing that again. Like, let's make sure that we pay attention to where we are. Let's not let that happen. So yesterday we're out for our walk, and we kind of get to that same point where if we go north and we start going in the twisty, turny streets, we know that we got to make sure that we pay attention. And so we could have stayed south, but we decided to go north. We decided to try it again. And sure enough, we got lost in there again, because as we're walking, we're talking and we're not really paying that much attention. And we ended up, there was about an hour stretch where we just kept ending on the same 3 street corners. It was Embers and Amberwood and La Manga or some other street corner like that. And we couldn't get out no matter what. We tried looking up at the sun to see what direction it was. And anyway, the bottom line is that we got lost again. And our only way to get out was to wind way around and go out to the main street that we knew. And once again, it ended up being an 8-9 mile walk, way longer than we thought. And again, once we were out on the main street heading back toward home, we resolved, okay, we are never doing this again. If we ever get back up here, we're either staying south or we'll go north on these streets, on the twisty, turny streets. We got to make sure that we pay attention. And I even said, let's come out here. Let's drive around. Let's kind of get our bearings a little bit, figure out why we can't figure out where these streets are going. And Heather, to her credit, said, no, we'll come do it. We'll walk it, but let's just actually pay attention to it. And it didn't really dawn on me at the time, but as I was thinking about it more this morning, it occurred to me that, moments in our life when we get lost can really be great moments of bringing balance back into our lives in terms of primility, because I think there is a certain level of pride that you get when you get lost and you find your way home. And it's not because of a map, and it's not because of any external help, but when you reach that moment where you're like, okay, I kind of don't know where I am. I'm kind of not sure which way to go. And then you figure it out, even if it's just by sheer brute force, which ours kind of was. It's not like we made the right turn. We just knew if we went way out of the way and got to a main street that we'd get there. We would just have to walk literally like a mile or 2 longer. But even just the sheer force, the sheer effort of doing it gives you kind of a sense of pride, because you're like, okay, I outlasted this inability of my own to find my way home. But there's also obviously a great humility that comes with any time that we get lost, because we realize, hey, I don't know as much as I think I do. My directional instincts in this case aren't as strong as I think they are. And so I think it can be a good learning experience, exactly as Heather described. And hey, next time we do this, let's actually pay attention. Let's kind of keep our bearings as we go. Let's make sure that we don't, because of our hubris that we just think we can figure it out afterwards, that we just don't pay attention. Let's actually pay attention. And so again, that pride in finding our way home, that humility in realizing that we need to do more, we need to pay more attention to not get lost in the first place. I think there's a good balance there, a good educational, instructive balance. Now, let me say this. Obviously, getting lost in all situations is not good, right? We don't want to get lost in a situation that's scary. in a situation that's dangerous because we may not be able to find our way out of those. But I think that every now and then, kind of these controlled situations of getting lost, taking a path that we haven't taken before. We kind of know our general area, but let's kind of go down this path and let's see if we can find our way out of it. I think those can be good. I think they can, again, bring balance, give us confidence in our ability to fend for ourselves and to not always need help, but also be learning experiences and the importance of paying attention as we go, to resisting as much as we can that natural hubris of procrastinating the effort now because we'll figure it out later. There are things that we can do along the way to make sure that we keep our bearings. And so I thought it was certainly a fun experience for both of us. We laughed about it once we had to go back out to the main road. It's like, 2 months ago we did this and we promised ourselves never again. And here we are again because we didn't pay attention. But it was also good because we thought, you know what, we've been out here. We ended up walking like 9 miles. We got tons of steps. It was good. So it was good. It was bad. It was educational. It was frustrating. Pride, humility. That's the balance that we look for here at Primility. And I think anytime that we can find ourselves in situations like that, where we can take some pride in it, we can also get some humility from it. Those are good situations that I think every little one is educational, helps move us forward a little bit, helps us to find and achieve the balance that we want in our lives. Well, this has been today's Primility Primer. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any similar situations like that, maybe situations, maybe you got lost, maybe something else, but just moments like that where you kind of feel this balance of the good, the bad, the positive, the frustration, whatever it may be, go to primility.com/show/020. That is the show notes page for this episode. Would love to have your comments on this story or have you share any story of your own. And make sure that you go to primility.com/join and get on our email list. If you do it right now, you can still get our Monday morning newsletter. It's 250 words or less, a quick little essay, quick little topic to get our Monday morning started out on the right foot. And then, of course, the Friday digest, where if you can't keep tabs on every single episode each weekday, you can get the Friday digest, see summaries of the episodes, and choose which ones you want to listen to or watch. Thank you very much for being here, for taking part in this episode of Primility Primer. I greatly appreciate it. Stay cognizant of your pride and humility, and we will see you tomorrow morning, Tuesday, at 6:30 Central Time for episode 21 of Primility Primer. Talk to y'all soon. Wrist bump.